Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mowers will practically build themselves. Okay, so for the interior, I've got some dark tan. It's by Model Master. It's 1742. And we'll see how this color looks for the interior of this Charger. Okay, let's see here. Oh yeah, that's as much. Yeah, this is good. This looks a lot like the tan that comes. And it came with the Chargers in '69. So there. Get the dashboard. Steering wheel, the dashboard. I'm going to have to get the front seats. And there's the seats. Okay, I'm going to drop just a little bit of this gloss coat, the 2780. I'm going to drop a little bit of that in. A little bit. About 4 or 5 drops. Mix it up really good. Okay, now I'm going to go back over my vinyl parts. So the seats, you see how flat those are with that paint and the lacquer thinner. Thank you. Too many fumes. And that would be fine if it was cloth, but these are vinyl. And if any of you ever had any Chrysler seats back in the days that were vinyl, it was like the hottest vinyl on the planet. The sun would just get that stuff roasting. Okay, now that should dry to kind of a semi-gloss look. We'll take a look in a few minutes and see. I'm going to get my dash pad as well, because they were always kind of that vinyl. Very carefully, I want to do my seats, but I don't want to do the back tray, and I don't want to get the carpet. So let's see how this works. Door panels should have this kind of semi-gloss look. Again, not the carpet and not the back pan, back whatever that is, the back window area. And I'm not trying to get this all glossy, I'm just trying to get it to look like vinyl. So if I need be, I can go back and hit the carpet with flat if I miss anything. So we'll see how this turns out. I have confidence that it'll be fine. Let me get a big old goober right there on the back shelf. That's okay. All right. I'm confident that I like it. Just enough of a sheen to make it look like vinyl. So we'll be back and do some more here in a minute. So I went ahead and took a Panzer Brown that I have from Mission Models, went ahead and painted the carpet with that because that would be more realistic with a tan interior, would be brown carpet. So I went ahead and painted that. You can see how the seats have a slight sheen to them, yet the back window panel does not. So I'm happy with how that turned out. Wow, something I'm happy with. Here's the roll bar. Went ahead and painted that black and then took kind of a semi-gloss black and did the pads on it. You'll see the result here in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to use this color. It's called Sunburst. It's what I used on my my Pinto project that I did a while back. And since I don't have Hemi Orange, I'm not going to run out and buy Hemi Orange. This is a really nice color orange. This is what we're going to spray the engine parts. So works for me, okay? So I'll continue on with the block and whatnot, and we'll be back in a moment. So the engine in this thing is very rudimentary. I kept the chrome valve covers to try and simulate the idea of this being a race Hemi that was put into this car, because it still has the 8 3/4 rear end, and the Hemi wouldn't have had an 8 3/4 rear end. So anyway, I went ahead and put that in. You can see how the engine looks. Yeah, it's okay. It's an engine. But here's the interior, and the roll cage turned out really nice. It fits well. The interior looks good. So I am happy with how that turned out. Now, as far as the bottom of the car, the chassis,
So I left it gray, and I put some of the suspension details, I painted those black. Of course, the exhaust, I did that in kind of a silver color, added a little bit of white and to the silver, and did the mufflers with that. And then I took this kind of a rusty brown leather color that I have, and I just dry brushed everything underneath. I think it turned out okay. And lastly, I gave it all a wash with some Larry's bath water. So the grill, oh my gosh, this thing was the nightmare from Hades. So I tried to put the light covers in, which are inaccurate on this kit. When I tried to put them in, you can see they're all askewed. I had to trim them down before I could finally get them in and get them to fit right, and it just doesn't look great. So I go ahead and put the body on the chassis, and look at this. The front tire is hitting the fender well. The way that those wheel backs fit, it makes it so it hits the fender well. I'm fit to be tied at this point. Here's a better view of it. And I put it in the top. There's two little pinholes. I put it in the top pinhole instead of the bottom pinhole because I want the front end down a little bit lower. So to remedy this, I'm going to have to pull these off, which, what a pain, because I'd already glued them in. Anyway, so I pulled them off, and I marked about where I needed to cut it. And you can see here I've marked that wheel back. And I took my razor saw and I cut it down. And again, it's going to go in the slot that's right there, even with the K-member, which is much more realistic than the one much farther down. So I went ahead and did that. And you can see here is the cut down version and the non-cut down version. Hopefully now everything will fit fine. I can't guarantee it, but we're going to see.
All right, so let's take a look at the final piece of this craptacular kit. This thing has really been a pain in my behind. But here you go. Here's how it turned out. Now, you can see there's a pretty decent gloss. It's not, I don't think it's over glossed. I think it's pretty good. From the we'll just call it future, because I don't know what it's called this week, but from the future, okay? The flag, if you look closely, you can still see the cracks in it, unfortunately, but don't look too closely. The rest of the paint, you know, some of that lacquer checking that I just couldn't quite get rid of. But you know what? I really just gave up on this thing because it was so much trouble for me. I'm not going to open the hood right now. You've seen the engine. I did get a hood off of a Revell kit. They don't fit quite perfect, so there has to be a little bit of sanding back towards the back to get them to fit. But the Revell hood is so much better than the hood that came with this kit. And I already had this one with some photo etched hood pins and a hood scoop. And I thought, you know what, we're gonna put this on there and can the hood that came in the kit. I mean, it was okay, but it's still, the marker lights are wrong, all that kind of stuff. I did take my Molotow chrome pen, and I did touch up the door handles just a little bit, make them look a little bit better. And I did find a mirror that I resin cast from a, I can't even remember what the Mopar kit was, but it's a correct mirror for a 1969 Charger. This kit came with no mirrors, no rear view mirror, no nothing. Yeah, so I had to have something, and so I at least put this one on. And like I say, I've resin cast that one. The rims turned out okay. I really would probably like a little bit darker shade in the center, but I think it'll be fine. Threw a couple little decals on back here, just like, and I can't remember what the brand name is, but it's for the wheels. When it comes to the back end here, I did take the Molotow pen and touched up the Charger just a little bit. You can barely see it right there. And the taillights, well, they turned out okay for what they are. I got this refresh license plate from the Coke bottle Charger that I had. That's a couple good things that were in that kit. Little Coca-Cola sticker there I put on the window just for giggles and grins. And you can see now that I've operated and cut these wheel backs down that the tire fits up in there just beautifully. Really nice. Has a pretty decent little rake to it, and we'll look at that in just a minute. And then for the and you've got the side marker lights, the red ones and the amber ones. A 1969 plate that came from the Coke bottle charger. Went ahead and put the grill guard on, and that front end grill just fit horribly. It took me an hour to get this thing to fit in there, and a lot of trimming and a lot of super glue, and I finally got it in. It's not perfect, but man, this thing was the bits. I'm just telling you. Turned out pretty decent. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'll keep it, but definitely not one of my better chargers. It looks like I built it when I was 17. How's that? Yeah. The underside, how it turned out. No, the exhaust did not hold when I put it up to the headers. There we go. You can see where I dry brushed kind of that leather color here and here. Give me just a little bit of a rust look on the undercarriage. I'm okay with how this looks, and I'm not going to be looking under it that much anyway. So there you go. Now for the final piece, I decided I wanted to put it on a display base, and so I took a piece of styrofoam, beadboard, whatever you want to call it, and cut it to size. I took some sandpaper and sanded a couple of grooves in it, you know, like ruts in a road. And then I used my my tan color that I put all over my railroad, and my Utah dirt mixture, and a little bit of the green sawdust that I make. Give it a little bit of weeds looking there. You know, I didn't want too much detail. We just are going to put it on there just like that. Now I gotta make sure it's sitting right. Oh yeah, that sits in those ruts really nice. And there you can see the stance that this thing has. And I do like it. I like the lowered in the front just a little bit. I like the raised in the back just a bit. And I'm even okay with these stock tires on here. So yeah, not too bad. I mean, it'll be a good addition to the collection of chargers that I have. The beautiful thing is once I put this on, I want to say it hides a lot of the sins because you have to view it from a distance. So there you go. There is my my display of the General Grant, and I hope you enjoyed this this build a lot more than I did, because this thing was a pain. Just got to tell you. But you know, a few days work and got at least a decent looking display. So thanks for joining us, folks, and we'll see you again soon with some more crazy builds. Thanks for joining us.